So today we have with us Mr. Sunil Naik, who is currently working with DHL Global Forwarding in the capacity of Director of Human Resource for India and South Asia region. Sir, being an alumnus of XLRI Jamshedpur, started his illustrious career working with pharma exporters, which involved exporting paracetamol and first generation antibiotics to West African nations. Sir also, along the way, transitioned through two critical functions in business that involved sales and HR, which included channel management, business consulting, and HR processes, and learning and development. Thank you, sir. It's over to you now, sir.
Mr. Naik, welcome. Welcome to Symbiosis digital platform. So happy to see you. And let me on
Thank you so much.
Symbiosis, thank you for making time for us and agreeing to share your thoughts.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I enjoy these sessions. It gives me an opportunity to go ahead and interact with a lot of young minds as well. So it helps both ways. There's a lot that I can learn from the questions that they ask, and it also allows me to refresh and get back to talking a little bit about my company as well. So why not? Thank you very much for inviting me. So the presentation that I'm doing today is about the future of logistics. I'm trying to go ahead and give you a bit of an idea about what are the kind of insights that we've been able to go ahead and take basis the experience that we have with working with organizations across the spectrum, and also looking at how we as an organization in DHL are looking at creating value for tomorrow. In most of these cases that you see, it's important for us to start getting ready now, because as we go along, it's going to make a big difference as we move ahead, maybe a year down the line and 2 years down the line. If you look at DHL as such, I represent DHL Logistics Private Limited. We are a network organization that caters to businesses across more than 155 countries. And two areas of strength that we see, one is our people, and the second is our network. All these changes which we expected is that are going to take maybe 8 months or 12 months or 18 months to go ahead and happen, have all accelerated and have change that's coming across almost everything. You can think of it, pharmaceuticals, medicines, food, apparel, everything is now getting onto the e-commerce platform. Urbanization of markets, that's again playing a big role. Ensuring that we are able to go ahead and cater to all these urban markets is a big change that's coming in. Big data analytics, I'm sure you've all heard these terms and you've been working on getting yourself skilled for this. These are all areas that you will definitely need to look at. And digitalization, a huge change or shift from what we were doing to the way in which we are doing, or we are going to do things. All of these are driving a massive change. And I think in each of these places, what we see is that supply chain is becoming even more and more strategic to business growth. So gone are the days when we saw the marketers or the CFO as being an important aspect. I think now the supply chain manager, the head of supply chain, the head of operations, etc., are slowly coming on to the fore and becoming a strategic partner to the country head or the CEO to ensure that they're able to deliver on whatever business growth is needed. And what I'm going to speak to you right now is about the logistics trends radar. So this is an actual activity that we do where we try and predict certain, or we try and understand and look at certain trends that we can see both from a social and a business aspect and from a technology standpoint that would influence or impact logistics in general. What is it that we need to go ahead and ensure we do? I don't think there's been a better time for us to go ahead and ensure that we continue to become smarter, we continue to become faster, we continue to be more customer centric, and we continue to remain business sustainable. Now, how are we doing that? It's important for us to continue to get closer to customers. We need to try and look at solutions and building new business models based on what our customers need. We need to continue to remain a sustainable industry and a sustainable business. So becoming a zero emission industry is something that we are all looking forward to. We have to go ahead and assist innovation. We no longer can wait and expect that innovation will happen on its own, and we as one of the market leaders will go ahead and buy or acquire those new innovations. We have to go ahead and start building or generating innovation. And last but not the least, like I said, people are a critical part of this entire business. And it's important for us to go ahead and look at how we can build a collaborative human machine workforce for the future. If you look at the way in which we are looking at predicting what's happening, this is the kind of 270-degree view that we have. Imagine yourself standing in that red dot in the middle, and the circle that you can see is broadly divided up into two. On the left-hand side, you will see social and business trends. And on the right-hand side, you'll see the technology trends that are driving this business. Now, before you come back and ask me about those 5 years, if you look at the arrow that I have drawn below, one says relevant in 5 years, and the other says relevant in 10 years. Now, those were some things that we predicted in 2019, and now that's gone out of the window. So wherever we have mentioned relevant in 5 years is going to be relevant now, maybe in the next 1 year. I don't think, in fact, you might see, as we go along and we discuss, you would see many of these ideas already being converted to reality as we speak, especially in a country like India. So some of the social and business trends that we have seen, one of them is called batch size 1. So when I say batch size 1, we're looking at how it will finally arrive at customization or making batch sizes of just one unit. So how do you change in time and place of production and integrate all these services that are required, that are needed for us to go ahead and ensure that we deliver to these requirements that are coming up. The second big one that's coming in is connected life. I think the adoption of mobile and wearable devices are just shooting through the roof with things like smart homes that are coming up, areas where almost everything is connected. Always on, always connected is something that's becoming more and more the norm. Third one that we are looking at is digital work. As we age, we are a very young population in India, but as we age, there's a rise of the millennial workforce. All of you guys, there's a lot of automation and repetitive physical intensive activities that are getting converted to ensure we are able to provide both cost optimal and productive and efficient solutions to our customers. Fair and responsible logistics. How is it that we can go ahead and ensure we are able to provide or deliver to the demands of our customers by ensuring that our revenues are high, but keeping ourselves sustainable, ensuring that we are able to provide the right kind of efficient solutions that the customers might not have thought of. Fresh chain. Now, here's something that all of you must be using at this point of time. Online shopping is now at full flow, and this is creating a lot of new challenges for us from a warehousing standpoint, ensuring that we are able to provide whatever is necessary and ensuring a faster turnaround time. Sustainable energy, ensuring that we don't further ruin the environment is extremely important, because we use a lot of vehicles, the planes, the ships that are there, and ensuring that we are able to go ahead and give back or sustain or hold on to the environmental degradation that's happening is important. So there's a lot of investment that's happening into green fuels, ensuring that we are looking at bringing down carbon emissions, etc. So let's look at some of the technology trends that we predict that are going to be big in the future. The first one that we see is 3D printing. Especially in an area or time like this where movement of man and material are being restricted, we see 3D printing now coming up in a big way. And it's important for us to go ahead and see how we can go ahead and provide the right kind of logistics services to provide support to 3D printing companies and organizations. Artificial intelligence, again, something that's already there. They're augmenting human expertise through systems, and it allows us to go ahead and generate a lot of good insights from all the data that we have gone ahead and collected, and allowing us to eliminate a lot of the difficult or the repetitive tasks that we are doing at this point of time. Augmented reality, another interesting aspect similar to VR. The augmented reality space is something that's really helping us in our warehousing area, providing the right kind of information, ensuring that real-time data can be provided to many of our workers, our team members, etc., so that they can utilize it in a far better way. Big data is not something that I think I need to go ahead and speak to you about, but that's just the sheer amount of data that we have and how we can utilize it appropriately through digitalization, ensuring that we are able to provide good capacity utilization, improving customer experience. if you remember in the social and business trends, one of the areas we spoke about was in terms of giving back to the environment of sustainable businesses, and business data analytics is helping us to become even more sustainable as we speak. Wi-Fi or the wireless network technologies is again going to go ahead and change the way in which we work. And these are areas that with 5G coming in, the entire aspect of how we work is going to change. If you look at the kind of business that we do, we are the operational back end of logistics. And for all these years that we have seen, we always believe that we need to be, since we are almost like an assembly line, we always believe we'd only be able to work from office. Just giving you an example, right now, 94% of our teams are working from homes. And they're only able to go ahead and ensure that they do that because of all the wireless technology that is available right now, that's helping us to go ahead and build onto or work with our system seamlessly, even though they're all dialing in or working on their own personal Wi-Fi's and connectivities. Self-driving vehicles, again an example, again something that we see in practice as we speak. In areas which are in containment zones, is there a possibility for us to go ahead and use a self-driving vehicle to take our material in? Now, these are something that are currently being experimented as we speak.
Mr. Naik, in fact, you have triggered a train of thoughts in all of us. One key thing which is coming up all the time is acceleration of activity, acceleration of innovation, acceleration in adoption of technology. I think that is acceleration has been a key theme across the board. And I think what you have suggested in terms of the business aspect and then on the technology aspect, it is pretty evident that logistics as an industry is taking it in its stride and rather making a good move to kind of cope with the crisis and make the most of the crisis. Thank you so much for your thoughts. We really appreciate, and there are humongous takeaways that you have left us with, and I'm sure our boys and girls are going to kind of get benefited and take cognizance of a few areas where they need to do their homework now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good
Hi,
evening,
Captain.
sir.
Good evening.
Hello, sir. Sir, actually, I am doing a research work on collaboration in supply chain. So, in you have mentioned that you have DHL has been collaborating with an airline industry. So, I would like to ask, like, what are the factors that you consider while collaborating with other industries, so that it could be helpful for me too, as I am doing a research work on the same line.
We are a typical fourth party logistics service provider. All right. So we don't have, we are very asset light. I don't own any airlines. I don't own any shipping lines. I don't own any warehouses. So for me, collaboration is the key. I need to ensure that I have a business model in place where I build on economies of scale, and I'm able to go ahead and be the middleman, to put it as crudely as possible, between a large customer marketplace and a large service provider marketplace. So my abilities are to go ahead and stitch together a collaboration that helps them to utilize their spare or excess capacity and provide the right kind of solutions at the cost optimal price to our customers. I need to go ahead and ensure that I collaborate with a service provider that has or resonates the similar kind of values as I have. So if I get somebody like that and I look at it as a sustainable long-term collaboration, then I get into it.
Yes, sir. Okay, sure, sir. Sure.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Good evening, sir. Yeah, so my question is regarding how is the air cargo industry being affected by this COVID-19 pandemic?
I think there's a huge demand supply gap at this point of time. Most of the airspace has been restricted at this point of time. Their existing fixed costs are extremely high, and almost all airlines across the spectrum are bleeding. Now, does that mean that the air cargo industry is going to collapse, or does it not have a margin? It has a huge opportunity to bounce back. Now, this example that I gave of something called a ghost flight. Now, a ghost flight is where a passenger aircraft has all their seats ripped out, and it is actually picking up more than 100 tons and taking it away. So if you look at the air cargo industry right now, the ones with the deeper pockets, the ones that are running a tight, cost-efficient back-end would survive.